dryer to the wall is a favorite place for ferrets to play, mostly because they can climb through the hoses which eventually lead to the outside world. If that happens, you may never see your furry friend again. Another thing to check for is household plants, cleaners, poisons, and things made of plastic. Rubber and foam are also favorite no-nos that ferrets will get into if they're not properly secured. If you don't want your ferret to take a one-way trip to the dump, never leave your garbage bag lying around, even for a minute, because that is all it will take for him to get into it and mistakenly be taken out with the trash. Similarly, every time you do laundry, you should shake out your clothing before it goes into the washing machine. If you pick up a handful of laundry and put it in to be washed, you could accidentally be drowning your ferret. Also, it's good to get into the habit of checking inside of things before you use them. Things like your dishwasher, garbage disposal, and even your refrigerator every time you close the doors. It takes just a second for your ferret to get caught in one of them, and the results could be terrible. Finally, the best method of ferret proofing is to pay attention and watch your ferret when he is out and playing. Where does he go and what does he do? By studying places that your ferret likes to play, you will most likely find places that need to be ferret-proofed that you hadn't even considered. Ferrets by nature are clean latrine animals, meaning they prefer to use one area for their toilet. Generally, you'll find that a ferret will relieve himself within a few minutes of waking up. Being the small predators that they are, ferrets are in the middle of the food chain, and their instincts are to find a sheltered corner. This way, no predators can sneak up behind them when they are doing their business. So, since ferrets are natural latrine animals, it is usually very easy to litter train your ferret. On the first day of training, try to wake up early so you can wake up your ferret, but do not take him out of the cage yet. Just let him explore a bit, and he should have to use the litter box within the first 5 to 10 minutes. If he starts to go in the wrong spot, be ready to grab him and move him into the litter box quickly. Look for signs like a lifted tail and him backing up to something. As soon as your ferret has finished and stepped out of the litter box, reward him with a treat, praise, and some fun playtime. With young ferrets, this process usually starts all over in about 3 to 5 hours. After a few days of this type of training, most ferrets get it, but if yours hasn't, you may want to try the following method. Start with a very small cage and add bedding, food, water, and a litter box. Make sure that bedding and dishes take up 3 of the 4 corners and most of the room. Put the litter box in the 4th corner with a little bit of used litter mixed in with the fresh litter. Again, try to reward your ferret every time he or she uses the box until they are using it consistently. Then, you can graduate him into a larger home. Just remember to clean up after your ferret daily. It's very unlikely that you will purchase a ferret from a pet store that has not been neutered or spayed. However, if you purchase your ferret from a breeder, he or she should be fixed before they reach sexual maturity. This will drastically reduce their odor, and it will prolong their lives. Believe it or not, once female ferrets go into heat in their first spring, they remain in season until successfully mated. If the mating does not occur, the female body will become fatigued from a common problem called aplastic anemia and can ultimately cause them to die. Unaltered male ferrets tend to be more aggressive to altered ferrets, and the odor that they give off is extremely unpleasant and is really not suitable for most homes. They also will mark their territory by urinating on anything they think belongs to them, which is probably just about everything in your home. So getting them fixed is best for everyone. One last note, ferrets are a very difficult animal to breed. So breeding should be left to professionals that are trained and equipped to handle their unique breeding and birthing habits. Ferrets are natural carnivores, meaning they like to eat meat, and because of that, they have very specific nutritional needs. It's not recommended to feed your ferret store-bought cat foods, as these are nutritionally incomplete diets and can cause medical problems. They must have a diet that is high in meat-based proteins and high in fat. Examine the label of any food that you feed your ferrets. In the ingredients section, look at the first 5 ingredients. The first ingredient should be some kind of meat, such as chicken, chicken meal, or chicken byproducts. Hard food keeps the ferret's teeth clean and makes their feces less smelly. The food should contain at least 34% to 38% meat protein and 18% to 22% fat content. Be aware that some ferret foods contain high quantities of fish oil and byproducts. These types of food are softer, causing buildup on the teeth and also give the animal an unpleasant smell. Like all carnivores, ferrets enjoy eating fruit and sweet vegetables such as grapes, bananas, carrots, and peanut butter, along with many others. Just remember that every ferret has his own liking, so just keep trying until you find all his favorites. Also, ferrets have short digestive systems. Complete digestion takes place in about 3 hours. For this reason, you should always have food available to your ferret and supplement this with the fruits and vegetables as snacks and treats. Ferrets are fragile animals that must be handled carefully. They also are very sensitive to the heat, so be careful when you take them outside. When you do take your ferret outside, always keep him on a leash. There are some very good harnesses on the market for ferrets that have a place to attach the leash between the shoulders. Ferrets are very squirmy and they can very easily slip out of these products. Even if you are in a confined or secluded area outdoors, don't let your ferret off of his or her leash. If anything should interest or frighten your ferret, he or she can dart off in an instant. Ferrets can run very quickly, and if they find cracks, animal holes, or other dangerous places to get into, you may not be able to protect or retrieve your ferret. Ferrets, for the most part, do not need bathing very often at all. While some ferrets don't mind being bathed, you really only need to bathe them once or twice per year. Bathing will not clean them of their scent, and in some cases may actually make it worse. If you bathe them too frequently, many times their skin will start producing extra oils to compensate, which will only make them smell stronger. The best thing to do is to change their bedding every few days, or at least once per week, and clean their litter pans every day. This usually keeps the odor level down. Keeping nails trimmed is important. Long nails can easily catch on things, and ferrets may panic and hurt themselves trying to get free. There are a few ways to trim nails quickly and with minimal stress to the ferret. Cut the nail just longer than the pink line inside it. Place the cut parallel to where the floor will be when the ferret stands to prevent the tip from breaking later. Be careful not to cut the line because it will bleed a lot, and your ferret might decide nail clipping is not a good thing. If you accidentally cut the quick, just apply some pressure with a towel and use a coagulant product to stop the bleeding. Coagulants are sure to be found at your local pet specialty store, but if you don't have any, flour or cornstarch should be a good substitute. Cleaning ears is also very important. They shouldn't need cleaning more than once a month, but if they seem dirty, use a cotton ball or ear swab and an approved ear cleaner. Hold the swab along the animal's head rather than poking it into the ear to avoid injuring the ear.